Welcome to the podcast. My name is Jamie Knight, and I'm a realtor with Real Broker here in Cajun Country, Lafayette, Louisiana. The goal of this podcast is to provide massive value by bringing insider access to our area's top agents and find out how they've been able to achieve massive success in their business. My hope is that you take a few things away from their experiences to grow your own business. My guest today is a married couple, Gary and Hannah Aymond. The Aymonds are both realtors who work their clients together and have a great rapport with other couples who are buying and selling. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited for everybody to hear you guys' story because you have a great story. So, Hannah, tell us how long you guys been together, because I know you know this better than Gary does. So tell us how long you guys been together. Give us a little backstory.
Yeah, we started dating in the early 2000s, 2002 to be exact, and we have been together a total of 22 years, and our anniversary was a few days ago. We've been married for 15 years.
I wish I'd have made Gary answer that. But yeah, I'm sure he knows.
He probably knows.
I remember that anniversary. It was 3 days ago.
Your real estate anniversary.
Yeah, I got that one.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's also our daughter's birthday, so you'll never forget now.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So how many kids you guys? You guys have a couple kids?
Yes, we have 3 kids. We have 2 daughters and a son. And we're all gearing up for school. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Gary, tell us a little bit about the work history, kind of how'd you get into the business?
All right, so I got in real estate by investing in rental properties. I had a lot of interest in real estate, started buying properties and rentals and stuff, and flipped a couple properties and decided I'm going to get licensed, to represent myself, so I didn't have to call an agent every time I had questions.
Right.
At the time, I was working offshore, 14 and 14.
Yeah.
You got a little overwhelmed, I think, at some point. So, yeah, he was doing the 14 and 14 offshore, coming home, hitting the ground running, and he asked me one day, he's like, I think I'm going to need some help. And so I was still in my career, my previous career. I am an esthetician. I've been an esthetician for 15 years, and so I was servicing clients, and he's like, okay, I think I need your help. So through that and momming 3 kids while he's offshore 14 days at a time, I also started picking up his clients, and basically I was just opening doors, giving very basic information to them, and would pretty much just pass the torch off to him and say, okay, you got to wrap it up. Like, kind of give him a little backstory on the clients that I was showing houses to, and because that's part of my thing in this whole process is that I love to talk to people, get their stories, pick up on their vibes. So I kind of would go back and be like, okay, they like this, they didn't like that. This is what they were mentioning. So then I would.
Yeah, she did a great job of that. She had all the information, the whole family history, everything they wanted. She picks up a lot more than I do.
Because she listens, right?
Yeah, she listens, and I'm just focused on certain things.
Yeah, he's the numbers guy.
Right. So about a year and a half ago, you decided, okay, I'm ready to go all in with the real estate deal, right? So y'all made the transition. You left offshore, and what did it look like for you when you finally got here, full time? What did that look like for you guys?
It continued to improve. I mean, we've been, last year was great. We had great success production last year. This year is even better. It was a big decision to leave the oil field job. I was there 15 years. It was going well.
Yeah, very nice secure.
Income,
we had
sure. Yeah.
So it was a big decision. I mean, but yeah, we still being successful right now.
He was kind of wearing out, and that's when I just told him, hey, we aren't getting any younger. If a career change is on the table, then we need to make that move now, because in 5 years it's going to look a lot different.
Right.
We'll be getting closer to retirement, and
yeah. Oh, I gotcha.
But
yeah, so I guess what I feel like most people are probably curious to hear is how does the roles look like for you guys working as a couple? Because I think, to me, just hearing your story, it has a lot of advantages, right? You can speak, Gary can speak to the husband or whatever, or, he may have a certain rapport with different people, but how does that work for you guys? What does the roles look like for you guys?
Yeah, so I think that working together, we offer a unique value proposition to our clients, especially those who are married or in a relationship of any sort. It basically just gives a voice to each person that's there, and we're able to kind of mellow out and, I don't know, I guess
Yeah,
bring life to each person's opinions and thoughts.
like I said, it helps build the connection. So with us both being there, I can attend to one person, she can attend to the other, and we can answer questions. You know, they're asking questions, people asking questions, 2 or 3 questions at a time.
At a
And
time,
it's like
yeah.
you're sitting there trying to find all this information all at once.
So
Right.
he's looking for one question, and I'm like, "Oh, let me go
So-
find out the tax information or
Yeah.
whatever."
So our thing, like we try to both attend all of the first appointments together. So
Gotcha.
the first time we meet with a client, we try to both be there, just so she can help. We can pick up on different things and just
Yeah.
Yeah, that
help
way,
build our relationship.
right? And then
that
as
rapport.
for sure, as it goes too, like once we start moving into like making offers, Gary's typically the one that's negotiating all those numbers,
Nice.
whereas I'm the one that's kind of just doing more of the social media posting and the marketing.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's a great idea to have people, because my wife tells me all the time, she's like, you don't relate well to women or whatever sometimes. Is, we as guys, we have our personalities and we vibe a certain way with other people, but it definitely gives a voice, like you said, to both people, and you really start to vibe with the wife, or you might even vibe with the husband personality more, or the wife's personality more. I'm sure just kind of either way, but it gives, like you said, each person, y'all's personalities are very different, and you can, each person has a unique voice in the client. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, most people don't end up buying the first house they look at, or they don't even buy what they think that they want. So
Right.
like we'll meet with people and she'll leave there saying they don't want this house, like they want something like this or whatever. She picks up on so much just by their faces and talking with them, that it plays a big factor in help finding something that they really like.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, for sure. Like what might be some different like struggles too that you guys have right now? Are you guys kind of struggling with anything?
I don't know. I'm trying to think what that might be. I mean, sometimes it's like we forget that maybe we are married. I always tell him, like, let's talk to each other like we are coworkers, or you're the boss and I'm the second. Like, how would you talk to somebody
how
that
do you
wasn't
set
your
that up?
wife? Yeah.
Right. Or
So-
how do you set that up? Like when because like to me this is a minefield that has some potential
It does.
relationship problems too. So how
Yeah.
do you navigate those waters?
I mean, I think honestly though, for us, we've basically grown up together. So like shifting into different things together is normal for us. So the adaptation of working together just went well in general. But at times, yeah, it can be a little challenging. But I do try to ask for, talk to me like I would be a coworker.
She tells me that at least twice a week, I think.
Yeah, because he'll be like, maybe get a little frustrated when he has to like explain something to me, and I'm like, no, like talk to me like I would be an employee.
Right.
You wouldn't talk to your employee like that. But no,
Gotcha.
he's great. It's not like he's
Yeah. Well, that's interesting too, because I mean, I'm sure you bring all the work and the frustration home, and it's like, how do y'all divide, like when you get home, like what is it like? Okay, no talk about work. How do y'all do that? Like when you get home, or is it
never
like
ends.
It never ends.
No, we try to. So I mean, most of the time we're working from home, so
Right.
that's a big thing too. But and then with real estate, you working in the evenings and this and that, depending on what's going on. So every chance we can, if we don't have appointments or something going on, we try to take a little break. We'll have lunch dates or
Right.
go out on a date night or whatever, or try to, in the evenings with the kids and stuff, we'll try to leave work alone if we can.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't. I mean, if you're busy and things are going on, you have to see about it. But
Well, so talk to me about like kind of, you talked about leads, but where are you guys getting a lot of your leads from? Like what does that look like for you?
so mostly, of course, we're using Zillow. Everybody looks at Zillow, so we pay the price, pay for Zillow leads, and the big thing for us, like we say, as long as we can get in front of them, we have a really good conversion rate. So we have great success with Zillow, even though a lot of people aren't right now. We're still doing very well with it. We have some other lead sources we've tried over the last few years. Some of them are good. Some of them take a lot more nurturing. We use a CRM. We use Lofty CRM, and we follow up with people. So we have a big database, I guess, of potential clients. So we've worked the CRM, and eventually when they start looking at properties, you call them, try to get them to go look at houses, and it pays off for us. We've been pretty successful with it.
Yeah, I like that, and I love that y'all have your different personalities, and you bring different things to the table, and you really double your chances for somebody liking you and connecting with you because there's two of y'all.
Right. I think it builds a lot of trust. It takes the edge off because a lot of times, like, you're meeting these people for the first time, like you've only spoken to them over the phone. So I think it's comforting to a lot of people to see a husband and wife duo show up to the appointment, and it's because a lot of times it's a married couple or people in a relationship.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about, so you guys came from another brokerage before that. So talk to us a little bit about why you chose to come to Real and the domestic partnership and the team and how all that stuff. So talk to us a little bit about that. Like, what did that look like?
So we came from EXP. EXP was set up as a domestic team as well, so it was pretty similar, and a lot of the structure with the company is very similar. But one of the big factors for us was the cost. So just right off the bat, it saved us, if I remember right, it was like $4,500 to $4,800 a year between the fee structure and the cap rate.
Gotcha.
So it saved us quite a bit of money between the two of us, because we already have all the other fees associated with our licenses and all that. So, and then.
Yeah, I mean, we entertained the idea of moving to Real because we realized that there were a lot of relationships that we wanted to foster and build with a lot of the people who had moved to Real before us. So, I mean, they were people like yourself, Jamie, industry peers whom we admired and looked up to. And, we just see it as an opportunity to be in the same proximity as them and work on building relationships and connections with some high producers.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you guys, you've had a lot of success, even with the short amount of time that you've been in the business. And I think a lot of that has to do with, obviously, your personality and all those things, and your different types of personalities and how people resonate with you guys. But yeah, the proximity and learning from people and being in proximity to top producing realtors is huge, So I know that's been an opportunity for you to level up here, versus kind of having, missing that connection.
Yeah, we love the structure that's here with the District South group, having the meetings every week, and the people that we're associated with.
Yeah,
we really enjoy it.
Well, I think we felt, which I guess you're only as involved as you make yourself involved.
Right.
And so I think maybe at one point we were just kind of like, hey, we're realtors with EXP, but we were hanging out here. And then when we were offered the opportunity to check into Real, it was like we really felt like it was a family. We felt connected. It was very much a
little family deal. Yeah, I like that. And I feel the same way because, I mean, you guys came on and immediately, I think people connected with you guys and they were really liking where you guys were going because, we kind of see the trajectory of people who are leveling up their business and continuing to grow. And I give you guys compliments all the time. Like, your social media is so clean and neat and nice. And, I remember whenever y'all came on, I remember seeing y'all's social media. I was like, damn, look how clean that looks. And I think I had rearranged some of my stuff after seeing y'all's, I don't even know if I told y'all that, but yeah. So, I mean, that's, definitely. I mean, just being a part of what we got going on, it's huge to kind of keep leveling up our businesses by helping each other out. So I think that's interesting. But so like, talk to us a little bit about, like, if you were a newer agent, like, because we say this a lot on the podcast. If I were a newer agent listening to this that's looking to like level up their business, like, what advice might you guys give them? Now that you've got your experience, like, what advice would you give that agent to try to level up their business?
My advice is treat it as a business. So, like, we spend money for leads, we pay for leads, but we measure everything. We measure the return on every money, all the money that we spend. So you have to advertise if you want to get your name out. When you're new and no one knows you, you have to do it some way. So you can do social media, if you have a big following and work your sphere, but to keep the pipeline full, you need some other additional sources. So I treat it as a business and measure the return of my investment. So when we started while I was offshore, we didn't really need the money that we were making in real estate, so we just kept pumping it to the lead generation and increasing it.
Right.
So that's what helped us succeed so quickly, was because we weren't scared to put the money in it as long as we were getting it back.
Yeah, and that's a great advice, because we talk about on the podcast too, like working in abundance, like where things are really good and you're not worried about money. So I like that you took that from offshore where you were already making a nice income and you were still working as well, Hannah, and you dumped it back into the business, and then that allowed y'all to be able to separate from what you were doing
right
with the offshore thing and now becoming full time. So yeah. Hannah, what kind of advice would you have for a newer agent?
I would say like getting involved with your broker, joining some of the organizations that are available to young and fresh agents like YPN. But I really like being able to just come over here and have a place. And I love the weekly meetings. I love all of our guests that show up and provide valuable information. Like, as a new agent, you come here, you can learn about people who are title attorneys or insurance agents, or people who do handyman work or lawn services, because all of your clients are going to at some point ask, who do you recommend?
Right.
And so I just feel like it gives you a variety of connections, and it provides you with relationships and other people that you can reach out to.
Yeah,
for sure.
Involve yourself with people that are willing to help, and get a good mentor that's going to train you and teach you how to run the business. Work the transactions and build some lead generation. Because that's the main thing.
Yeah, and I feel like for us, it's like we kind of have each other. So Gary's the one who's working the schedule and doing the numbers and doing the contracts, and I'm a little bit on the emotional side, so it's like it's good to have a partner in it, which not every new agent's going to have that. So if you can find like a buddy, like he said, a mentor, I guess, that you can have a sounding board and get ideas from, or things get tough in the real estate world. It's like, oh man, sometimes I'm like, I need tougher skin, but so it helps to just be involved and have somebody that you can lean on.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, because I heard somebody describe it, and this is kind of the first time I thought about it this way. It's like, you have a friend who opens up a restaurant, and then they tell you they want to, be the hostess, and they want to wait tables, and they want to make the food, and they want to be the manager, and they want to be everything. But that, as realtors, is kind of how we run the business, right? We're everything. We're the first point of contact. We're the the accountant for the business. But like, imagine, one of your friends coming to you in the restaurant business and saying like, hey, I'm going to open up a restaurant, but I'm going to be the hostess, I'm going to be the waiter, and I'm going to be the cook, and I'm going to be the accountant.
Think he's crazy.
I'm going to clean, and be like, you're crazy, dude. You'll never make it. But yet, as realtors, we try to do all those things, and we wear a million different hats. And if you look at it like that, it's a miracle that some of us make it,
exactly.
As long as we make it by juggling and doing all those things. But the good thing is, you guys are kind of filling your own holes in the boat. Like, you're helping fill different things and where you lack, and overall it's a great product, and now that product is rising and everything else. So that's really cool that you have those different roles. So but But yeah, I guess give us some other encouragement. 2024 is a crazy year. We're all kind of up against these new changes and these things. Like, are you guys worried about the changes to buyer's agency? Like, let's talk about that for a minute, because that's going to be a big deal for you guys working with a lot of buyer clients. So, how are you guys moving forward with the new changes?
Yeah, so we do work with about 80% of our clients are buyers.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we would love to list more, and we put more focus towards getting more listings in the future, but we can't stop working for buyers, because that's our bread and butter right now. So far with the new buyer agency agreements and stuff, we're pretty successful with it. Just kind of meeting with people and going over, telling them what the contract's about, telling them the reason behind it, and explaining it to them. And so far, we've been okay with it.
Nobody has really.
We haven't had a whole lot of rejection to
yeah.
it.
Gotcha.
Just a couple here and there, but you're gonna have that. I actually kind of like the whole agreement, because when you're prospecting leads, you don't have much loyalty. That's
right.
what we try to build our loyalty, but we got to get in front of them first. But it's not always perfect. So having this contract in place might help us out, on that side. Now, as far as the compensation and things like that going forward, we are kind of concerned about it. I don't think it's going away or anything, but it's just going to make it more complicated.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think we were talking a little bit about that too, because you guys are quite a bit still involved with Zillow, and I kind of threw the idea out there to you guys and said, like, hey, what happens when the compensation itself becomes lower as a buyer's agent, if that's a thing? And I guess I'm sure a full year you guys can evaluate where you stand after the year, right after August 18th. I'm sure you can kind of say, okay, like where are we after the year? Like what percentage of commission did we get overall? And
right, yeah.
And does that still make sense for us to do Zillow or whatever with getting a 2% compensation or a 2.5% or whatever? I'm sure that's going to be a conversation that y'all are going to have after the year with working so many buyers.
So we will be moving or reducing our Zillow spend and putting money on other lead sources.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just started them over the last month or two, so it's kind of hard to measure those yet. I don't know what's working, what's not working. But we'll be looking at other sources, So we're not going to rely solely on Zillow for moving forward.
Gotcha. I hear a lot of agents talking about that, so I was curious to see what y'all thoughts on that were, because y'all have a great reputation on in person, but also on Zillow, and you have a lot of reviews, and you have a lot of people who use you on there because you're so you're so well liked and well respected, and people, like, I'm sure clients are following y'all because of your presentation that you have out there on Zillow. So
yeah, we get quite a bit of referrals and Sphere leads too. So we're not getting everything from Zillow, but it kind of just keeps the pipeline full,
Yeah, no, for sure.
And as we move forward, I'm looking forward to 2025. I think the market's looking to get better.
Thrive in 25.
The interest rates are hopefully improving. It seems like they are lately. So hopefully 25 is even better, and we'll be okay.
Yeah. I think it's going to be fine. I think people like y'all who are constantly leveling up their business, you're providing more value, you're connecting with your clients in a deeper way. Like, that's awesome. And you guys know your own roles that you play in the scenario, and you bring a different value to each buyer to connect with you guys. So I think that agents like y'all will definitely find a way to make it in 2024 and 2025.
Yeah.
It's just going to be finding those ways that financially make sense.
Yeah.
With Zillow and all these other lead sources.
Yeah,
so.
we will pivot. So we're going to make sure that we're doing what it takes to be successful. So we're going to have to figure it out, like you say, and figure out what's working and what's not working, and we'll keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else that you guys want to share with agents who are listening, maybe about being a couple or anything else that y'all can kind of think of that you want to share? Because I'm sure people have a lot of questions. And I would even encourage people too, if they're a couple, a team, and they're just looking for some encouragement, or they're looking for, hey, how do you guys define your roles, or maybe giving them a little encouragement. I know you guys would be open to chatting with them online.
Oh yeah, for sure. We would love to be able to help them out. I mean, they can definitely reach out. I think a piece of advice is just, remember at the end of the day, I mean, you're married still, and just patience, and if you just be what you need.
Yeah, I like that, Gary. Anything on that note?
Yeah.
What was the question again?
Yeah, just typical guy. You didn't hear the question. You weren't listening when Hannah was
I
talking.
thought you had this one under control.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have any advice to other married couples who might be looking to get into the business?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Why is it tough?
Not every relationship is
right.
fit to work together, I don't
Right.
think.
Right.
So like you said earlier, we do everything together. We've been together since we were young, and we kind of just more or less grew up together and had a lot of transitioning phases, I guess.
Yeah.
So it could be good for people and it could be bad. But
Right.
It's
depends on the relationship.
depends
Yeah.
on the relationship. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does take some courage. It takes some, like I said, patience. But I think like once you figure out where your place is in part of the business and what you do best, then you can complement each other on those things and pick up where maybe that person's slacking or whatever. So I like to, there's just going to be days where, you're not 100%, but he is, or so he might say, okay, I got it. Don't worry about it. So that's also nice too. 'Cause when you're not feeling great or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you have somebody that can take over. And even if recently he had a little getaway, he went fishing with some friends and he's like, okay, you got this? I'm like, yeah, I got it. Go have fun. So it's just being able to,
that's when the phone started ringing.
Yeah. It
Well,
got
they say if
busier.
you wanna-
It always, the minute you
Soon as we,
try to do anything.
As soon as that boat pulled
we
off,
leave,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys being on the podcast for sure, and it was encouraging to hear how y'all's roles are defined and how you guys help each other out in the real estate transactions and everything else. So I know other people are curious about that, because I mean I was curious about it when I saw y'all. I was like, how would it even work if my wife was in the business? And like you said, it would depend on the relationship, but other people are bringing their daughter or
Mm-hmm.
and right now other people might be bringing another family member. So I think what y'all are talking about makes sense too, when you're talking about somebody else in the family coming and joining them in the real estate business, is understanding your role and filling each other's holes in the boat per se. So I think that's great. So
There's nobody else that I would want more on my team than him, because I always say if I'm in a boat in the middle of the ocean, he's the person I want in the boat with me.
nice. Yeah. Y'all are so cute. Y'all are definitely the best looking couple in the office for
Oh
sure.
my goodness.
yeah.
Thank you. We're the only couple. No,
Y'all
no,
are
we're
y'all
not
are
the
the only
We're not
couple in the
only couple.
office. So there you go. But anyway, so I appreciate you guys being on. This was fun to hear you guys' story, and I appreciate y'all being vulnerable, and hopefully you guys continue to have success and get along and all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys being on the podcast.
Well,
and
thank you. It was very fun.
Yeah.
A little nerve-wracking, but it was fun.
Yeah, no, I think people are going to love hearing y'all's story, and I think it's going to resonate with some people who've been thinking about this, or hey, I don't know if my wife would ever be in the real estate business, but hey, these days, we all need the help, right? I mean, we can take the help all the help we can get,
And the help he doesn't have to pay.
You want to give them your Facebook and Instagram if anyone has any questions?
We're gonna put all that we'll put all that in the description of the
Okay.
video.
Okay.
Like we'll put y'all's your contact information. So if you're looking for to connect with Gary and Hannah, we'll put their contact information in the details of the podcast. And Yeah, I really appreciate that you guys listening into the podcast, and feel free to reach out to either of us. We'd be glad to help however we can and give you a little encouragement. So again, guys, thank y'all so much for being on the podcast. It means the world to me that I get to kind of visit with my friends and hang out. So thanks so much for being on it with us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks for inviting us.
All right, guys. Well, we will talk to you guys soon, and you guys have a great day.